Hi guys. Okay guys, welcome once again to my channel, right? Okay, today we are going to learn about how to install and configure EVNG or PNet. It's a virtual environment for any network engineer or security expert. Okay, so I'll show you how to set up this virtual environment for your use. Okay, so whether you are doing CCNA, Juniper, Huawei, Cisco security, firewall, any other security flavors that you want to do, or networking setup that you want to do in a real time, right? So I'll show you how to set up the EVNG or PNet so that you use it for your advantage. Okay, all right. So to launch your browser, okay, and then go to google.com, you have the page like this you see in the list, so you can click and then go into their site. So here we have the professional and then we have the free, which is the EVE community edition. Okay, so professional you have to pay for, right? So the free one you don't need to pay anything, you can use it as long as you want, but some features you wouldn't get it. Okay, now if you come down the list, you can see I have the community. When you come down, you have the Windows client side, so you need to download this packet as well. Okay, then when you come down to, you need some okay, let's be at the Windows side. You still need some items like these very softwares. They are just small softwares that you can download. Okay, you see we have the Wireshark, Ultra, VNC, Putty. Okay, those three are very important. That is if you want them, and you need a client as well when you click here. Okay, now let me click on the professional, right? So that I'm going to look at how I can buy. So let me click on the buy. Good. So when you click on buy, you can see it shows you the steps where you can follow, and then you get what? Your license. Okay, so when you get your license, then you have the full features of the product. But since if you don't have money to buy, okay, so you go to the home, right, and then have money to buy, you just go to download. So this is where you have the professional and the what? Free, right? So you go for the free community, and then you click on either Mega, Mirror, or Google, because these are cloud storage where they've kept these files, and then we have the ISO file as well. So I like the OVF file. Okay, so when you click on either the Google or the Mega, this page will open for you. Then you can see it's 2.67 gig, so you go for download. When you hover over the download, you can see we have download with Mega desktop app. That is if you have the app installed on your desktop, then you're going for this. If you don't have the software, then you're going for the standard download. So you click on the download and it will start what? Downloading. Okay, but the download speed depends on the internet that you have. So this, I'm going to pause it and then close this, leave. Now since we'll be downloading the Windows client as well, so you can click on any of this and then it will send you to the page where you can download this as well. So it's the same procedure. If you have the app or standard, you're going for that. Now I've already downloaded this packages and the softwares. So I actually have the old version, that is version 4 and then 5. So let's look at that. So I've kept 8 on my drive D, VMs, EVE, PNet, that's the folder I've named it. So you can see I have here the EVE Pro. You can see this is the OVF file for the new version. Then this is the OVF file for the old version, that's 4.2. Anyways, I'm going to upload this softwares and then the 4th version, the 4th version as well in the Google, where I'll put up a link below so that you can download this particular one. I like this because the new one, I've tried it and I don't like the devices don't look fancy like this one. Okay, so I always keep this going. So you can see I have the Ultra VNC, I have my putty, I have my, you will need this as well, Win SCP setup. Okay, and I think yes, and then my EVENG Win client. So you can see I have that. So I'll upload all this down for you. I even have a documentation on them. Okay, how to install the image. Okay, you can see I have a documentation on them. You need images. Okay, so when you I have them here. These are some of the images that I have downloaded. So I'll be doing video on how to download the images and then upload them in the softwares. Okay, so let's see how to load it into my virtual software. Now you can either go in for VirtualBox or VM Workstation Pro. So I like using VM Workstation for my stuff, so that's what I'm going to use. If you like VirtualBox, you download your VirtualBox. That one too is free, so you download it and then you use it. And this is my VM Workstation. I actually have video on how to install your VMware Workstation. Okay, how to install the entire software and some few configurations that you have to do. I have video on it, so you can check out on my channel. Now what you do is you click on File and then you go for Open. So you need to locate where your downloaded EVENG file is. So it's on my D, in my VMs, and this folder, and there. So you can see I have my PNet 4 version and then we have the 5. So I'll click on this and then go for Open. Now I'm going to import this, so I need to give it a name, right? So I can name it the net. So this is just showing the location where it's going to store the file itself after import. So I'll click on Import. Okay, the import takes time. It depends on the resources of your machine. So okay, great. Now as you can see, I have RAM 8 gig, processor 4. Okay, so I have 100 gig, as I have NAT adapter, and then I have bridge. So that means if you watch my previous video on VM workstation, you understand the NAT and then the bridge. I explained that in that particular video. So if you've not watched it, go back and then go and watch the video on NAT and what bridge. So I need to upgrade this VM workstation. Okay, the reason why I'm doing this is this is version 16. Okay, you can see this version 16 2.2 build. So when I go for upgrade, okay, so when I click on upgrade this VM workstation, next, now you can see that currently is on workstation 10 and above. So when you click down this, I'll set it to what Windows workstation 16 2, and then next. Now you going for alter this virtual machine. If you're going for this, it's going to create another virtual machine with the EVNG upgraded. So let me just try that. When you click on next, so you can see it's asking you what to give it a name, but when you go back and you click this next, you see it does not ask for what a name. So you see changes to apply, you can see. So finish and then close. So now it has upgraded successfully. Now the next thing is for me to explain some things to you. Now I have bridge, I don't need this adapter, so I'll go in for remove. Okay, I'll just maintain the NAT. So now RAM, if I power this VM, is going to deduct from my physical RAM. So let's check my machine right now. Right click and then go to system. Okay, now you can see my install RAM is 24 gig RAM. Okay, my processor is i5 Gen 10. Okay, now I can actually use this 8 gig, but it's just waste of RAM, because if I use the entire 8 gig for this, I'll be using other, when I start loading my images, they'll be using the RAM, my physical RAM as well. So this will put much burden on my machine. So I'm going to reduce this to, let's say, 2 gig. Okay, I can even reduce it to 1. So if you don't have enough RAM, just reduce it to 1 gig. Okay, for your machine to operate, right? So that to release all these 8 gig for your physical machine. In case you power this machine, that is the amount of RAM is going to take from your physical machine. So I can go for okay, but not yet. So let me click on the processes. All right, now you can see here I have number of processors and the number of core per processor. Now they've actually change that. You can see total processor cores is 4. Yeah, that is the actual processor core is 4. So if once again, if I right click this and I'm going for computer management, and then I click on device manager, and then you look through, you go down to processes, you click down this arrow. So you can see I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 processors. That this is 8 oct core. Okay, 8 processors, right? Now I'm going to manage that. So what I'm going to do is I have one physical processor, okay, and then the core is not 1. Okay, I can assign 2 to it. So that means when I power this very virtual machine, 2 are going to act for just this virtual machine, and then the other 6 will be idle. So you can see the total processor core has changed, right, to 2. So if yours is less than 8 like mine, so you can reduce it to 1, which will still work for you, please. If yours is 4, reduce it to 1 so that you can have the other one working for other purpose. Okay, so mine is 8, so I have assigned what 2 to it, so the other 6 can be what working. Then these have to be enabled. Virtualize Intel VT, okay, has to be enabled because the images you are going to run will run in a virtual environment. So you click that and then you go for OK. So as this is set, this is the configuration that you've done here. So the next thing is you have to power on our PNet. So one thing too you have to know is the PNet is in a Linux platform. So okay, so those of you who don't know Linux too much, okay, I'll just walk you through some few things that you have to do for your PNet, right? Okay, so let's look at something. If you see at the top, PNet Lab default root password is PNet, and then use the HTTPS or HTTP 192.168.174.135. now this is coming from my NAT. Okay, the NAT are selected for the VMware machine. Okay, that's the IP address. Okay, so right now if I should go to my browser, okay, now connecting, please precisely use either Firefox or Google. Okay, if you use any other browser and you are having issues, please just go in for Firefox or Google browser. But me, I like using Firefox for such purpose, so that's what I do. So it's 192.168.172. let me cross check once more. Okay, 174.135. okay, 174.135. enter. So you can see I'm able to log into what the lab. Okay, so we'll come to this again. So we'll see how to what change this IP address that we'll use to log in. Okay, so the IP address I put is based on what was generated for me, but when you log in for the first time, it's going to ask you to do some configurations. So if you like the default one, you don't type in anything, but if you want to configure like the way I want to configure right now, so you can do that. So you can see at the login your service is working normally, so that means I have my service working. So you hit enter. So now you need to log in, so with root as the user and then PNet as the password. So now this pop up, type in the root password. That means if you want to change the default password, right, so you can change it. Now this is not professional, this is community, is free. So since I don't need to change my default password, I'll just maintain the default one. So I'll just hit enter, repeat the same, enter. So failed to change password, yes, I know. All right, so if you are part of a domain, you want to put in your domain. Okay, mine is SIP SIP-COMSYS.com. So enter. Now you can see it's at what DACP. That was what was generated by my what do you call the NAT. So this time around I'm going to enter my personal one. Okay, so I'll bring the highlight down with my arrow key down and then press my space bar and then enter. Now type in the IP address, okay, that you want to use to manage. Okay, that's when you want to access it at the browser. So you have to be 192.168.174. okay, the first three has to be the same. The last one, that one you can change it to your need. So I'll just put here 100. That is how I want it. Now the subnet mask is always 255.255.255.0 because it's a class C. Now the default gateway, yours too, the first three will be the same, but the last one make it 2. okay, don't put any other number there, put 2 there. Okay, so 192.168.174.2. okay, if you really want to check our IP address, we can still go back to our interface. You can see 192.168.174 has to be the same. It's just the last one that I changed. So this one as well has to be what, 2. Now DNS has to be the same as what the default gateway. So 192.168.174.2, the same 2 have to be the default gateway. The same 2 have to be what, the DNS. Now this is adding a secondary what, DNS. So you can use any of the Google DNS like 8.8.8.8 or 1.1.1.1 or 4.2.2.2. okay, enter. So now if you have any time machine on your network, so you're going for that. I don't have one, so I'll just hit enter. Okay, this I'll just accept the default because I don't have any proxy around, so I'm going for enter. So as you can see, the system is going to restart. Okay, good. So you can see now my IP address has changed to 192.168.174.100. okay, because I didn't change the default username and password is the same as it is. So when I go back to my browser, if you should refresh this page, you can see it's taking some time to load. Okay, let me just clean this and then enter, and then let's see if we have access to the interface. So you can see this is taking some time. So let me open another tab, 192.168.174.100. so let's see, this one has opened. You can see this one is still what, loading. Okay, you see it's not able to connect because I've actually changed the IP. So now I'm using this. Okay, now we'll come back to the login interface, so I can minimize this. So now let me log in here and then pnet. Good. So you can see now I've configured. Now just look down. Welcome to Ubuntu 8.04. okay, you see it's a Linux based product from what, Ubuntu source. So this is Ubuntu base. Okay, so now we'll look at how to update the pnet if you want to. Okay, it's not mandatory to update. If you want to update, okay, this is what you put in here. You type apt update and then you hit enter. Now your physical machine needs internet connection, so you can see I'm connected to my Wi-Fi here, so it's using the NAT feature configured for this very machine to browse with my physical machine. So your physical machine need what? Internet access. So this will take some time. I'm going to pause the video. When it's done, then we'll come back to the next command. Okay, so I'm going to sip something and I'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, it has finished checking. You can see down there 311 packages can be what? Upgraded. Okay, so you can see run apt lists upgradable, so we can actually run that apt lists dash upgradable, enter. So it shows us what the list of items that can be upgraded. So now let's upgrade apt upgrade. So I have to, do you want to continue? You have to be Y, that means yes, because it's actually telling you that you need about 484 megabytes of what? Archives in there. So for the upgrade, those of you who want to upgrade, you have to wait for it to what? Upgrade. If they want an upgrade, then you don't need to do all this. Okay, so I think now I can pause the video. When it gets to an important place, I'll bring it back, then we'll continue. So I'm going to sip something and then come back. Okay, welcome back guys. As you can see, the upgrade is almost done, so we need to answer those questions. We have install package, maintains version, then keep the current installation version. They have show difference between the version. Then we have the start, a show to examine the situation. So going for Y, to say yes and then enter. Now we are going to wait for this to complete, so this also take a little bit of time, so I'll pause the video and then come back to it. Okay, so as you can see, this is done. So all I have to do now to reboot the system, so by typing reboot, enter. Okay, so let me log in once more. Root pnet updated, and now I can use this. So as I said earlier on, the update is not mandatory, but if you update to help you. And then also this video, I'll be making a second video of it to show you how to download the image and then load the image into your EVENG software, and also we'll see how to install the other software that is needed for you to load the image. Thank you so much for watching. So watch out for part 2 of this video. See you guys.